Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Super Skrull Build-A-Figure Wave Fantastic Four Doctor Doom. And this is finally Doctor Doom. We've had a few different attempts at them making a decent Doctor Doom figure, and the last one seemed like it was alright. I mean, it was good for the time, and compared to what came before it, it was significantly better. It still wasn't that good. This one, based on early images of the prototypes and test shots and the promotional ones that they showed at conventions and things, looked like it was going to finally be the Doctor Doom that everybody wanted. The question is it? It might be. I don't know. We're going to talk about it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. And this guy stands just about 6 7/8 inches to the very top of his head, which makes him pretty close to, let's say, 17.5 centimeters. And I have to tell you, overall, we'll get to the specifics in just a moment, but overall, this is one heckin' good looking figure. It is very, very, very nicely done. There's one issue that I think would make it look infinitely better. Maybe not infinitely, but nigh infinitely better. But it's still really, really good as it is. And the thing that sells it, by far, the best thing about this guy is his entire cape-cloak combination, his skirt, everything, all the cloth, is textured. You can definitely see that, I'm sure. It looks like the camera's doing it probably, making like swirlies in it. That's actually just how it is, and I'm guessing that's the result of them applying the texture in ZBrush. If I had to guess, not the texture, but physical texture, not texture as in like game models. Anyway, you get it. It's really, really nicely done. The texture, again, physical texture, is very apparent. It makes the figure feel like a high-end piece. It's so good. I love that. They also did a molded silver plastic, which is not necessarily the best option for doing metallics. Sometimes molded metallics don't look great. And this one, while it is semi-transparent and you get kind of a weird shimmery effect, I think it works. I think it looks really, really good. I think it's short of having it painted on to make it actually look like metal paint, or not metal paint, but metal, because metal's not transparent like this is a little bit. This is great. I'm perfectly okay with this. I think it's great. And they did a good job painting here and painting here, and they painted the straps on his legs. They go all the way up into his special place, and those are all painted, and it's just nice. I love it. It's very, very well designed. It's well put together. The only downside, and it's not as big of a problem as I thought it was going to be, but it's the one I called out when they very first showed it. Doom has a relatively big chest in almost every iteration. Every drawing of him, he's got a pretty big chest. In this, his skirt part is significantly bigger than his chest, so it does give him a little bit of a birthing hip situation. It's not super noticeable unless you're looking for it, especially once you pose him, but if his chest was bigger, the chest is, you can see the outline of his chest, and it's smaller than his waist after the belt is included. And I get that it's plastic and they have to fudge some things, but they could have just made his chest bigger. Just make the chest bigger, Hasbro. It's almost true for almost every figure. And it's true for almost every figure that you make, but it still looks great. I mean, that's a very small issue. It's certainly not enough to knock the figure down too much, but it would look a lot better, is all I'm saying, as good as it already does look if it had a bigger chest. Pretty small chest, especially so it's not the right size it would be if it was in armor. You get what I'm saying? Like, here's Gambit. His chest is bigger. His chest is bigger than Doctor Doom's chest. And Gambit's armor is just like, not really. And his armor is like knight armor. It should be a lot bigger. But it's not. So anyway, this Gambit head, by the way, is going on sale January 1st. Okay, there we go. Got that plug in there. That's what she said. Going forward with this, let's just give it a 9. It's, aesthetically speaking, it looks great. It's a 9 for sure. The face is great. There's not a good way for me to really show you that. I'll have a photo, just because the hood is so big and hood-like, it's blocking the light. But that's really nice. Okay, on to the accessories. We have 2 fist hands, and then we have a gun-holding hand and a badass clenchy type hand. And then we have, like I showed you already, the regular head, and then we have his derpy old-school head with the little hood. And I mean, it's still really well done. The face looks good. By the way, McFarlane, this is how you do a hood if you're making a goofy looking hood like you did for Scorpion. This is how you do it. See how there's a head in there, McFarlane? Do you see that? Hasbro's making McFarlane look bad. What the heck? Whoever thought that would happen? Anyway, accessory wise, it's minimal. Oh, we also get his gun. I forgot. He also has a gun. And the gun's okay, but it's not great. So accessory wise, alternate head, cool. Some hands, good. Not bad. Nothing special. I'll give it a 7. I would have liked a little bit of like lightning. Doesn't he shoot lightning occasionally? I thought he does. Doesn't he? He does something like that. I know he does. Or am I going crazy? It's very possible. I haven't slept a lot at all, even a little bit recently. So it's possible. I could be wrong. Okay, moving on to the moving of the figure. Let's just pop the head off. Let's do that. So we have our standard head. Almost. This is a thing that I don't quite understand why it's here. It's not a problem, but it's a thing. And maybe it wasn't intentional. I don't know. This whole neck rotates. I mean, that's cool because, like, aesthetically, it'll look better if the neck lines up with the head. But not being on a ball peg, which it doesn't appear to be, I can't get it to really move. Like, it wiggles a little bit, but if that was a ball peg, then I would get it because then it could lean and stuff. But making it just rotate, just... I mean, it's not a bad thing by any means. It's just odd. I'm surprised that they did that. Maybe they just figured they have to make a separate piece anyway, so it might as well articulate, which is the right idea. So I like it. I mean, it doesn't serve that much of a purpose is my point, but I like that they did it. Then, of course, we have our hinge, which is super stuck on mine, and a ball peg. Speaking of stuck hinges, this guy was loaded with them. I've gotten most of them free now, but we have that. And then, of course, the head's on a ball peg, and the hood is connected to the head. For the shoulders... So glad that they actually made it work better than horizontal. That's so nice. Full rotation. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Again, they painted the straps all the way up. That's good. Better than 90 degrees for the elbow. That's good. Wrist swivel and hinge. That's fine. No ab crunch. I'm so glad they didn't do an ab crunch. An ab crunch is like the worst articulation you can do, aesthetically speaking, and even functionally. It's just so limited. They did a ball peg, which is actually surprisingly good. You can rotate it. And that's fine, but it also does lean. Look at that. It doesn't have as much range as an ab crunch, sure, but they only did the one. Normally you would have like one at the crotch and one up here also if you wanted for extra articulation. He doesn't need to be super dynamically posed. And this is fine. That's still a really good range. Side to side. See, this is why a ball peg is just, if you do a proper ball peg, it's so much more versatile and it looks so much better. You don't end up with any gaps except for one maybe at the very end. The very back of whatever it is that you're doing. So this is the way to do it, and they did a really good job. Belt is all part of the skirt, and so it doesn't really move at all. It's very stiff, is what she said, but the hips can go out to the side. It's just your standard Marvel Legends hips under there. So that you get really good splits, like better than Spider-Man, so that's a thing. You do have a thigh swivel. I'll get to the forward leg movement in a minute. Double jointed knee works nicely. I love they sculpted the joints with that chainmail. Little details, guys. It's all I ever ask for. The little bit of care, little bit of effort, little bit of heart and soul put into the figure, and it makes it look so much better. So nice. I love that. Look at that. There's details on the knees, on the joints. So good. And then for the ankles, we have ball hinge ankles, which are also sculpted like the knees. So you do get an ankle rocker out of the peg, of course. Then you get the forward and back. However, these joints were super stiff, and I had to basically use enough force to move a lot of heavy things to move the ankle. I still can't get it to go again, and I did get it to go. These ankle joints are really stiff. You can get decent range. They tuck in going forward and they overlap going back, and they rotate and you get an ankle rocker. So it's good, but it's super stiff for the hinge. Whereas on this one, the rotation part is super loose, but the hinge is still super tight. So that's definitely a little bit of an issue, but they do function, so that's good. Now, bring the legs forward and back. We do have this split here, but because of the belt being so thick and because of this being relatively thick where it connects, you're not getting a ton of range. Now, frankly, I don't personally give two craps about how much range Dr. Doom has in his legs. I think that much range is enough. He's not running around doing karate kicks and stuff. He's Dr. freaking Doom. That's all he needs. You can bend his legs enough that you can put him in a cool stance, right? That's all you need. Yes, it's limited, but let's be realistic. Do you want the skirt or do you not? Yeah, the skirt's maybe a little bit long also, but still. That's fine. I think it's okay. I think it's perfectly fine for Dr. Doom. If you want to put him in karate kicks, I know that would be better to be able to than to not be able to, but I don't think it's necessary, so I'm not going to fault the figure for it. So articulation wise on this guy, I'm going to give him a 9. I think it is perfectly fine. Some stuck joints notwithstanding, I have no complaint. Like, that's fine, that's good. I have no complaints with his articulation. No serious complaints anyway. Like I said, the ankles, tight joints and things, those are issues, but they function. I'm perfectly okay with it. The cape also pegs in properly so that it holds it the way it needs to. He does have his little thrusters back there, by the way. I like it. I do hate that for whatever reason, it tends to shift to the side. So you see how this gold ring is all the way over here on his shoulder, whereas this one's up above his naples, or singular naple. That drives me freaking nuts because I have OCD and I can't. Just don't. Be centered. Just be centered. And you can get it centered, so it's okay. Okay, so final verdict on this guy. If you haven't been able to figure it out, I personally love this figure, and objectively, I love this figure. The only serious thing I want to change, other than, like I said, some tight joint issues, I would like his chest to be like 10% bigger, maybe more, because it is a little small. It's not super noticeable. You probably won't even notice it if you don't watch this review, but you already are, so sorry. But yeah, that could definitely be better. Bigger chest is better, especially for Dr. Doom. He's got no chesticle. None. Not really. Gambit should not have a bigger chest than Dr. Doom. That's not a thing. That should be a thing, but it is a thing. So that's definitely a downside. So I'm only going to give him a 9 out of 10. This figure is exactly what a lot more Marvel Legends should be. They should all be Dr. Doom. No, they should all have this amount of effort and care. It doesn't take much. I don't care that, like, yeah, it's obviously beneficial that every part of him is new, give or take. I think everything is. But I'm talking about the details, the specific little things. Like putting sculpt work on the joints, or putting a little bit of extra paint on the straps going all the way up to a special place. Things like that. Little bits of effort go a really long way, and this guy's a perfect example of that. This is a fine example of how Hasbro Marvel Legends can be perfectly acceptable collectibles rather than collectibles that are okay most of the time. This is a nice piece. Man, it looks good. I love it. Alright, that'll do it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't. I have new videos up just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. Come back for this on January 1st if you want to buy a Gambit head. Brown hair is an option also if you don't like the red. And in the meantime, keep collecting.